You're listening to The Scrimmage with Daniel Hargrove and Justin Domashevitz.
Our Oly Pen Real Estate Athlete of the Week, and this week, Justin, it is Joel Dublanko. And Joel is a young man that is currently playing for the University of Cincinnati, the Bearcats, playing a linebacker there, and really someone that we followed for a long time since he used to play for Aberdeen High School, and someone that both of us really enjoyed watching play football and then also interacting with around it.
I think the thing that sticks out with me the most with Joel was how he managed to shine on some really bad teams. And we would watch, I know Daniel and I have one really specific memory of an Aberdeen game where it felt like he was everywhere. I think we had him down for like 21 tackles.
Yeah, it was something crazy.
He was
like
just
that.
incredible. But if he wasn't on the ball, he was near the ball. And I'm pretty sure they lost the game. And we came down from the stands, and I've never understood how he wasn't so widely embraced by. I don't know if it was like jealousy of other parents or what the deal was, because Joel was such a nice kid.
Yeah.
I'm assuming he still is, although it's been several years since I talked to him. He was so nice, extremely respectful. His teammates seemed to really like him. He was the kind of guy that would do anything for the team. He played quarterback, for goodness sake, when they didn't have anybody else to do it.
And that was pretty much why.
Yeah.
It wasn't that he was a
Yes.
quarterback. It was, hey, you're our best athlete. Can
Yeah.
you handle a snap?
You have a cannon for an arm. Why don't you stand here behind our line that can't block and get your brains beat in? But Joel was he seemed so like graceful with his words. He seemed like a great teammate. And I remember coming down from the press box into the stands and, meeting up with a couple of people and then being like, well, man, I didn't think he played that great today. And I was like, were we watching the same game? The kid was in on every play on defense. He had over 20 tackles. Like, this guy was incredible. And he did end up going somewhere else for his final season of high school to play at some academy. It was an IMG Academy.
IMG Academy.
Where he got some special instruction on football. But the kid, as an Aberdeen Bobcat, was an incredible football player, especially on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
The team of realtors at Oly Pen Real Estate wish you and your family good health during this stay home, stay safe time. Their team has health and safety measures in place to protect you and everyone involved in the process. If you're thinking about selling your home, now is a great time. There are more buyers than available homes. Many homes are still receiving multiple offers and are selling for above asking price. Oly Pen Real Estate will help you put the most money possible in your pocket in less time without the hassle. Visit sellmyharborhome.com to get your home market ready. The Oly Pen team is ready to work for you. And Joel was like, in the first part of the show, you described Percy Harvin as a different kind of athlete. Like, if you watch Joel Dublanko play on an Aberdeen high school football field, he looked different than the rest of the athletes did.
Absolutely. And we actually, in our first iteration of the show, we were able to interview him and talk to him a little bit. And that's when we first kind of were like, wow, this kid's super nice, too. Because you never really know. Like, kids can be great athletes.
Yeah, some of them are turds.
It could be, yeah. I mean, thankfully, we haven't really talked to any that were like, wow, that guy's a jerk. We will keep
I won't
their
name any names.
Yeah, we won't name any names. But he was such a good kid and so nice to talk to. And so that's why, again, like, it was weird that not everybody just loved who he was. And just a freak athlete. 6'3", 235 pounds now is what he's listed at. And I'd probably say he was, 6'3", 215 in high school as a sophomore.
And probably not far off of that in junior high. Like, the kid was massive.
Yes. And I've seen him a couple times since he moved away because his brother Ben played for Aberdeen too and plays for Grace Harbor College in basketball. And so every now and then he'll come back to support his brother. Same type of kid. Like, he'll come up to me really pleasantly and be like, hey, how's it going? What's going on? And really cool to talk to. And so, yeah, let's dive into some of his stuff here. So I'll start with his college page here for the University of Cincinnati. And it says, prior to University. He was a 4-star prospect by Scout.com and tabbed a 3-star prospect by 247sports.com, ESPN.com, and Rivals.com. He was listed as the number 41 defensive end in the 2016 class. He was also rated as the number 18 linebacker in the 2016 class by another website. He was tabbed as one of the 50 best incoming freshman linebackers in the nation.
Highly recruited.
Yes, very highly
From
recruited.
a young age, too. I think I remember a lot. It's hard to separate sometimes rumors from real, but I remember major college offers early in his high school career.
Absolutely. He played in the Semper Fidelis All-American Bowl, played at IMG Academy in Florida as a senior, and he recorded 62 tackles, averaging 7.8 per game in 8 appearances. So, I mean, that's a good amount to have, and the level of competition he was playing with that school and playing with too was just crazy. He also had 8 tackles for loss that year, a pair of forced fumbles, 1.5 sacks, and a fumble recovery. So an excellent year there, playing against some crazy competition. His junior year at Aberdeen, he had 114 tackles. 114 as a junior. And this is crazy too. So his junior year, you hear 114 tackles. We talked about a game where he had 21 in a game. That might be a little.
It was
off one
over
word.
20 though.
It was ridiculous. He was a second team all league player that year. Second
I just
team.
don't understand.
He was a second team player.
Was that just because he was on Aberdeen?
You know, no, this is not a sad story because Joel Dublanko, first of all, he's an incredible person, and he's gone on to have really good success in what he's done in the end of his high school career and what he's done in college. But it is really disappointing to me how people managed to not embrace him when he was in Aberdeen.
Yeah.
He is an embraceable guy. Like, he is so easy to root for. I found it so easy to root for him.
Absolutely. Me too.
It blows me away. When we talk about similar numbers with somebody like Hutton Napier from Montesano, and it was similar, and he led his team in tackles from a defensive end spot. I mean, this is the guy we're talking about as Defensive Player of the Year. Like, that's totally different.
It is.
It's disappointing.
It is. Joel played USA football as a member of the under-16 program. He played in 4 national all-star games with Team USA, International Bowl at AT&T Stadium in Dallas with the USA under-18 national team. It says he chose to attend University of Cincinnati over offers from Mississippi State, Washington State, and Tennessee, among others. So as you mentioned, highly recruited and very deserving. I mean, watching Joel play and grow up, it was a lot of fun to watch him, and just a freak on the field. 2016, he redshirted, and it's funny because you think, oh, redshirted, okay, go to the next year. But they put in here, redshirted, and he was a unanimous choice as University of Cincinnati's Defensive Scout Team Player of the Year.
Scout team player.
Isn't that
Nice.
interesting? I thought that was interesting.
I didn't know that existed.
During his, it's their college. So what that tells me, though, is, yeah, he redshirted, so he was just playing on the scout team the whole year, but he still made an impact that he was a unanimous decision for that. Like, other people recognized that he still worked his butt off every day. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah, because as a scout team guy, your job is to get yourself ready for the next year, but also to help the guys who are going to be playing in the games to be ready for what's coming.
And probably get your butt kicked a lot.
Yeah.
Like, being a scout team player, you're going against the ones.
Yeah.
That's got to be hard to keep that level of motivation up. In 2017, he played in all 12 games in his first season with the Bearcats, mostly on special teams, but also as a reserve linebacker. Finished the season with 8 tackles, including 1.5 stops for loss. Opened the year with a career best 5 tackles against Austin Peay, and had 2 tackles at Miami of Ohio. In 2018, so that would be, redshirt freshman, redshirt sophomore year, he played in all 13 games, mostly on special teams, had 27 tackles, led the team special teamers with 9 tackles, set his career high with 8 tackles against Navy, finished with 4 against Tulane and 3 against Alabama A&M.
8 tackles is pretty good.
Yes, that is pretty good.
Yeah.
Returned a pair of short kickoffs as the up man. Rumbling.
Nice.
I like this. Yeah. Rumbling for 24 yards.
Hey, he played for some fullback too.
Yeah. I love it.
This kid can move.
He had a 17-yard kickoff return as an up man. I love that they put that in there. And
17 yards as an up man. That's a pretty good return.
It is, yeah. You got some good field position after that. Played in 2019 as a redshirt junior. Yes, played 14 games, recording 34 tackles. Played a significant role on their special teams unit with 5 tackles on kickoff coverage, recorded 3 or more tackles on 5 occasions, forced his first career fumble at Houston, had a career-high 7 tackles against UConn, along with 1.5 tackles for loss, and his first career sack.
Nice.
Also finished with 5 tackles at Marshall and at USF. So he's been working his way up, and this year, hopefully there's a college football season because he'll be a senior, and you can just see it building and building and building, and it seems like he's going to have an opportunity to not just be a significant special teamer and a reserve who gets on the field sometimes as a linebacker, but you really feel like it's building to him being a starting linebacker and having that chance to really make a big impact and show what he can do. And also, I thought this was cool. It says in April of 2020, he earned his bachelor degree. So he's already got
That's
the degree.
great.
Yeah. So,
Not surprising.
No, it's not
surprising at all.
Yeah, I mean, because he redshirted the first year, so he's been there for 4 years, and
That's
he
great.
earned his degree on time. I thought that was pretty cool.
Joel's uncle is a friend of mine, and I had a lot of fun last football season. I think I only watched part of one of his games, and they're not always really accessible here because he plays in Cincinnati. But I did check the box score pretty much every week, and I was texting his uncle, who's a friend of mine, just to, talk about how many tackles he had that game and how he was in the rotation, because it is exactly as you described, Daniel. He found himself as the seasons have gone on, going from a special teamer to somebody who's in the linebacker rotation. So they had a 4 or 5 linebacker rotation, and he was finding himself on the field a lot with lots of opportunities to succeed. So you would imagine going into his redshirt senior season, he should be ready for big-time play, and I am very excited to see if that actually happens, if we have a college football season, what he'll be able to do.
Exactly, because that's a big-time school. I mean, University of Cincinnati is a big-time school. If he can have a big year, I mean, it'll be really fun to watch.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And he has all of the physical tools to do it, and now building to this moment, so I'm really hoping that this season happens, for one, and that he can get his shot and really prove what he can do at that level. I'm really excited for him. He's somebody, like you mentioned, I've been checking box scores of Cincinnati games. I don't care about Cincinnati other than the fact that I'm like, oh, did Joel get some tackles in this game? Did he get some time at linebacker? And it's been fun to follow.
Absolutely. I'm just really excited to see what he'll be able to do this year. Crossing our fingers that we have college football.
Yes, absolutely. That is our Oly Pen Athlete of the Week, Joel Dublanko. Congratulations. I mean, I'm sure that this award just means so much to him.
Yeah.
But thank you.
Probably the greatest honor he's ever received.
Probably. And it's also brought to you by Oly Pen Real Estate.
Maybe second best honor he's ever received besides being interviewed by us the first time.
That's also true.
It's a pretty big deal.